Alright, welcome to a Polly Polly Poo Poo review. A while back I said I was going back to the 90s, so here I are, and here is from 1991, James Bond Jr. I've got pretty much all the figures to show you, so bear with us. I will show you all of their different action features. Like this guy has his briefcase, although it's not necessarily a very briefcasing looking briefcase, but you know, basically briefcase. They're kind of in disguise, so you can do that. And he's got a pink gun, well, orangey kind of, but you know, so there you go. And that's James Bond Jr. You can actually kind of put the twist on it as well if you want to really fling his case about. The kind of the fairly basic, but for the day, this was kind of what you got in the early 90s, based from the TV cartoon series, based from the Ian Fleming books, I guess. Who was the inventor? Is that right? Inventor, creator, James Bond. So, as like most things, like your Batman sort of thing from the similar time, Batman animated cartoon, you got a few different variations of James Bond Jr. Here he is in his diving outfit with mask, spear, and flippers. The flippers are removable, as is his mask, and as is the spear. From what I can gather, this one had like a feature for where like you could make them sink or swim type of thing, where you'd pull that up and he'd sink and empty him out and things like that. I've never really tried it, but that's apparently his action feature, is to sink. You also got James Bond Jr. with his parachute and his removable goggles. This was the one that I had access to as a kid, as I remember these coming out, and they didn't sell very well. They just sat on the shelves, and they weren't, I think, figures that were out at the time were better than these. These were just kind of like a, you know, I'll get them when they're a quid type of deal. So anyway, this opens up and there's a nice parachute in there. I'm not going to show it off for the simple fact that it takes you about a day to fold it back in there. But basically it's a red kind of plastic bag kind of parachute with James Bond Jr. silhouette holding a gun on it. So that's the parachute, James Bond Jr. And then you have Ninja James Bond Jr. Don't have any of his accessories, unfortunately, to show you. And I think from what I remember is you turn him and he kicks. So you can kind of get a bit of karate-ness going on there, kicking and slicing, as he does have a blade attached to his arm. I think the cameraman's having a bit of trouble with his endurance. So that's all the James Bond Juniors that you got. And he also had a few allies. You've got Gordy Lighter, who has a bit of extra sort of abdominal skateboard articulation. His action feature is when he tips his skateboard back. I'm not a skateboarding fan, so is that a kick up or something like that? No, don't know. Anyway, so do that and out pops a blade at the front, so you can kind of skate into somebody's shin. Although I suppose if you're a skateboarder, you'd be kind of coming off a half pipe into the side of someone's face. So there's Gordy. He does come off his skateboard, but he looks better on it, really. So. Yeah. You also have IQ, who is some possible relation to Q. And he comes with a boxing glove with a rocket attached to it, which is underneath his plasticky lab coat. The articulation on these I probably should have pointed out. Basically just their arms and their legs move unless they've got an action feature, and only a few of them their heads turn. Kind of can't understand why they couldn't have put head turns on most of them, but I guess the action features must have cost too much to produce. So anyway, there's a little button on his back there, and you pull that, and it fires his fist. Gonna fist you. So that's IQ. Finally, for the good guys, is, and I'm forgetting this guy's name, Mr. Jones or something like that, and he's kind of got all sorts of spring-loaded limbs, or one. He's got low. Oh no, this one. Yeah, maybe that. This one I picked up at like a flea market type thing, and he's kind of a bit dinked up. But you know, I think the only thing he came with was like a nunchuku thing, nunchaku. But yeah, it's nice to have him with his kid and play haircut. Right, now on to the bad guys. James Bond Jr. became packaged like with this, with a very small bubble in the kind of form of the person. They also came with a red plastic strip for deciphering all of this stuff, maps and languages and stuff, and a leaflet telling you all of the characters who's on the back of the packet anyway, and the vehicles. I don't have any of the vehicles. If I say them for a good price, I'll pick them up. Just so I'll have all my James Bond Juniors together. It does tell you how to work the action feature of the figure behind the figure as well. So that's Odd Job's packet, and here is Odd Job. When these came out, I remember there was a pretty sure like this guy, you couldn't find him in the shops, and I'm pretty sure Odd Job was the other one. You just couldn't get him in the shop. Although I think there's only Wolves ever had them in, so ear shop. And this is he put his hat in his hand and he tosses his hat. Very reminiscent to Handlebar from Brave Star. I would have said he's pretty much inspired by like a Run DMC kind of look. Very kind of 80s tracksuity kind of thing going on. He's a beefy little stocky dude, like probably this guy and probably Dr. No. I would say the two best figures from the line. So if you're gonna get two, get them two. And his hat also fits on his head as well. So there's Odd Job. I suppose I'll show you Dr. No, seeing as I just said he was great. Dr. No comes with this, which does fit on his arm, and it has additional kind of spare hands. So you've got like a whip, kind of mace, another hand, and a knife. So you just pull them off, stick them on there, and then you've got different hands. This one has a push that back, and you can grab a hold of a cup or something and crush people like that. Obviously, looks nothing like his original version from the movie, but I do like the kind of hair as horns, and then I kind of there's something very sleek about the design on him. So he's just a nice looking figure. With a pretty cool little feature. This next one, I don't even think this was even like a James Bond character. It's Dr. Deranged. And basically you turn him from Dr. like normal to Dr. Deranged, which basically just gets a crazier look on his face and grey hair, which is not the nicest transformation. Kind of looks like somebody who would commentate on Formula 1. Is Jaws, who's the biggest of the bad guys, with his metal stick. His action feature is you pull up his arm and he opens his mouth, so you can put your finger in there, and oh, it's pretty, yeah, it's decent, pretty decent grip on that, like, you know. I'm sure some people would cry if not. So yes, there's Jaws. Gonna go and eat through some wires and go and rake his moon, things like that. Finally, the one who originally, when I saw these, I thought, how crap does he look? I mean, he's a pirate, which, I mean, how does that work in modern day? I mean, you know, he's got a hook, which has got some strange backwards pointy prong things, a sword, fighting somebody who's got a gun, the world's gayest, smallest tattoo, ginger mohawk, you know. But then the more you look at him, he's actually pretty cool. I mean, like, you know, he's a badass pirate. He's got a big ginger mohawk. He's got an eye missing. He's got a hand missing. He's got one boot that won't stay up. You know, like lovely, nice, big kind of piratey gloves. And his action feature, once you unwrap them, which is nice that they put them on so that you can actually wrap the string up so a cat won't chew through it and you lose it forever. You know, and you can kind of pull that back, and you can fire his hook like that, and then he has it trailing along the floor behind him, which I suppose actually that's pretty good for fishing, isn't it? You know, kind of, I'm gonna catch myself a fish. Oh, didn't catch one. I'll get one next time. And as well, I mean, he's really buff. I mean, look at them muscles. You know, I mean, especially this arm, which, I mean, he must have like an attachment he can put weights on to this so they can kind of keep himself looking so ripped. So the one figure that I thought was the crappiest in some ways has now turned out to be my favorite, which usually tends to be the way with me. So there you go. That's the entire wave of figures of James Bond Jr. All their action features. You know, if you can get them for relatively cheap, I think I got most of these in a bulk lot for about £3 or £4 off eBay. So, you know, keep your eye out for them. They're pretty good for early 90s toys. And I'm gonna, I think I might have, yeah, I'll do some more modern stuff next. See you later.